Back everyone, this is Distance Teaching Learning Program. As you know, this is initiated by Metro PABSON's Bharatpur, and here I am again with the same topic, minerals from class 8 subject science. You must know it's me, Manish Ghimire, your science teacher. So let us begin. We started studying about minerals, their characteristics, their types, their uses, and of course we yesterday talked about 6 different types of minerals, their location that are found in Nepal, and their ores, principal ore, like we studied copper's principal ore is chalcopyrite, cuprite, of iron it is magnetite, hematite, similarly of lead we studied, of zinc we studied the importance of limestone, the uses, and so many other things. So let us proceed a little further today. Today I will be talking about soil. So have a look on the screen once please. These are all what we completed till yesterday, and I am taking you to my screen to little ahead. This is soil. As I said yesterday, if you closely look upon that screen, in between the palms there is black materials, right? That black material is not just a similar kind of materials. It consists of so many things together there. I mean, large number of particles are there and the components mixed are of different types. I mean to say, you can find there clay, slate, sand particles, minute particles of rock, some organic matter, some pieces of dead bodies too. Means soil is a mixture of many different components. Soil is a mixture of sand, clay, slate, smaller pebbles, dead and decayed parts of living organism, and other nutrients. If you squeeze it hardly, I mean to say, if you give it a bit pressure, then some drops of water also can be seen there coming out, oozing out. Means what? Soil contains water also. And of course, between two particles, soil particles, there is a gap which holds air molecules. Means soil contains air also. We call soil air. If there is water, we call soil water. Means soil is a mixture of different particles of rock, sand, clay, slate, and humus, means dead and decayed body of plants and animals, along with air and water. That is what soil is. Because soil is rich in nutrients, plants grow well there. Nutrients rich soil has higher productivity, where crop production is high, that provide us food. So soil is the place where plants grow well, provide us crop. So we are saved of starvation. Directly or indirectly, we have been depending fully on soil. The uppermost loose layer of Earth's crust is of that importance. So let us read in detail about what soil is, how do we conserve soil, what soil profile is, and so many other information. Let me first cover what topics especially relating soil we are going to study today. Number 1, you must know the definition of soil. Soil definition. Number 2, process of formation of soil. Process of formation of soil. Number 3, we read soil profile, that deals with the composition of soil. Composition of soil. And next topic would be soil conservation. Soil conservation. Meanwhile, we will talk about soil erosion and deposition. Okay, these are the topics to be included. I may complete or not, I am not sure, but this 30 minutes gonna be very fruitful to you. So stay aware of this. Let us begin. Have a look once more on the screen. This is soil, of course. Soil and its formation. Introduction to soil. I said the uppermost loose layer of the earth's crust, which contains various minerals, water, sand, clay, and other organic materials in a mixture is called soil. Soil is a mixture. It contains various materials mixed there. These materials are minerals, which make soil rich in nutrients, because of which plants grow well there and produces large amount of food. Likewise, there is water. I said that water is what plants absorb during photosynthesis. Air is also needed for germination of seed. Means soil provides all the necessary condition for germination. That is why plants grow there. Anyway, you come to know about soil. Soil is a mixture of various components. That includes minerals, dead bodies of plants and animal, I mean to say humus, sand, clay, slate, and other pebbles. And the fact uppermost crust is loose is the mixing of these particles, because particles are of different sizes, different structure, color, and other properties, maybe chemical too. The uppermost layer is loose. So uppermost loose layer of earth's crust is soil, where plants grow and animals live. Means we make our shelter, we construct our houses, buildings, bridges, all these things on this uppermost loose layer of earth's crust we call land also. So land is what? Soil. That's done. Okay, once more, look at the screen. Process of soil formation. I must say, soil formation is a very long process. It does not take place within a night. It does not take place within 24 hours a day. It's a very long process. Very long means you understood. Very long means millions of years, billions of years. It may take even more than that. Since Earth originated, the situation continuously and gradually become changed. I mean to say, climate changed to the climate we are facing now, and the structural landscape and geography of Earth changes, and we have been what seeing today is Earth's landscape. During this course of time in which Earth changed its landscape and structure, the uppermost loose layer of Earth's crust is formed, which is rich in nutrients provided soil. The temperature is optimum where we are living alive. Actually, Earth was not that suitable for the survival of living beings some 40 million years ago, some 60 million years ago, some 2 billion years ago, because it was very hot and temperature was so high. Later, all these things settled down and became favorable for our survival. So meanwhile, I mean during that course, soil also formed. It took soil millions of years to be in today's structure and pattern. So it takes millions of years for the formation of soil, and all these soils are actually formed from large boulders, large rocks and pebbles. These large rocks break down into fine particles by weathering process. Such particles get mixed with various minerals, water, sand and other organic materials. Means it is weathering process that made soil. Large, huge sized rock and pebbles undergo weathering phenomenon. During that weathering process, expansion and contraction occurred alternately, one after another. During very hot summer season, rock expanded, and in cold winter season or in night, it contracted. This continuous expansion and contraction caused rock to become weak, and when this process continued for a long, rock is broken down. Rock was broken down into smaller rocks, smaller pebbles. These smaller pebbles again faced the same situation for long, means weathering process. And when these smaller rocks and pebbles further break down, fine particles are formed. These fine particles, when mixed with humus, air, water and other nutrients, it turned to soil, where plants are growing and animals are living. So it is all weathering phenomenon that makes soil. You must know this term weathering, the breaking down of rocks into the smaller rocks, smaller fine particles. And when this weathering of rocks run for millions of years, a large rock eventually converted into fine particles we call soil. And this weathering is supported by, weathering is caused by different factors that we are going to highlight. Before that, just see your screen. There I am going to run weathering process for you. You just look at this video and try to find out how soil is actually formed. Okay, here is the beginning of video clip for you.
Soil formation. The action of sun, water, ice, wind, and plants break huge pieces of rock to form soil. The process of soil formation is very slow, taking thousands of years, and is known as the weathering of rocks. The rocks are continuously exposed to the agents of weather, constantly heated by the sun and cooled by the rain. The alternate heating and cooling over a long period of time cracks the rocks in the following manner. Rain falling over heated rocks causes them to break due to sudden contraction. The rain collects in these cracks and may freeze in winter, forming ice. The ice in the crevices expands, causing the rocks to break into smaller pieces. Sometimes, due to strong winds and other natural causes, rocks may roll down, scrape each other, and break into smaller pieces. Sometimes the roots of a tree enter the crevices, and as they grow and require more space for themselves, this results in the breaking up of rocks. The roots of some plants produce acid that helps in breaking the rocks. The continuous movement of water from streams, waterfalls, and rivers also break large rocks into smaller pieces. Thus, soil formation is a slow and continuous process.
Okay everyone, back again. That video was about how soil form. Soil formation process is a very long process. I said it takes millions of years for its formation. When large boulders of rock faces sunlight continuously, it undergoes expansion. During expansion, its volume and its size increases to some extent, and in a night, it undergoes contraction process. The same thing happens in very cold winter season when it is very chilling cold. When temperature falls in below -10, -20, rock contracts to greater extent. So, sometimes expansion due to the continuous heat provided by sunlight, and sometimes due to its contraction, rock becomes very weak. They start to form crack. Through this crack, water may seep into it. Air may go into it. Sometimes when the water that entered it through that seepage get frozen inside, when it is very cold, that adds extra pressure and forcing it to break down. Means large boulders of rock ultimately eventually break down into smaller rocks and pebbles due to the climate change, due to the presence of water, due to the presence of frost and other factors. Thus, large boulders of rocks are always liable to change into smaller particles. These smaller particles further undergoes the same weathering process for long, changing it to fine, very fine particles of soil. That fine particles of rock, the ancient rock is now fine particles of soil. And I said you already, soil is not just the fine particles of rock. When that fine particles of rock is mixed with minerals, nutrients, humus and other organic matter, then it is enriched with quality what plants need to grow. That is what we call soil. Means look here once, these are the factors responsible for soil formation. Climate change, plants or organic matter. Okay, let me talk about how plants and organic matter are responsible for soil formation. I must say, listen, in a rock, different types of plants grow, especially unicellular plants, primitive and first multicellular plant grow well, covering all its outer surfaces. Their roots grow down into the rocks. Through the cracks of rock, roots grow inside, providing it further pressure to break it down. The same thing happens when water runs. Means the rock which is present nearby the water bodies also become weak due to the continuous action of flow of water. When water flows continuously on the side of rock, the parts of rock touching water becomes weak since it is provided with water all the times. The structural composition vary from the layer of rock facing water continuously and the layer not facing water. This divides the same rock into two parts, boosting it to break down. So, water is also responsible. Likewise, look, some plants do have acids in their roots. That acid causes limestone present in rock to react together, forming hydrogen gas and other gaseous matter that flew, leaving behind the weakening of rock. What I mean to say, acid present in plants and the acid that falls during acid rain also breaks down rock. It is all because of that chemical reaction which is initiated by acid present in the roots of plants and acid that falls during acid rain. So, these are all the sole factors of formation of rocks. Okay, have a look on the screen once more. Change in temperature. Aside of these factors, there is shown one block diagram. There is sunlight which is heating up the different parts of land continuously. Meanwhile, rock is also heated there. The same rock which expands during daytime contract to some extent during night time. Also, this process is boosted by the falling of rain. You can see there, means rock is exposed to the climate change. Sometime it contracts, sometime it expands, sometime it is provided with water, seepage of water inside the cracks of rock further pressurize it to break it down. This is all what happened with rocks for a long to break it into the smaller rocks particles. Okay, you can see another factor there, water, wind, frost, living organism. The first picture on the left down, you can see there is shown the cracking of rocks. Look, that was a single piece of rock before. Because of continuous action of pressure given by frost that was trapped inside that rock, and the similar picture you can see in the next just aside of first picture. These two are the effect of pressure given by frost. Because of pressure exerted by frost in the cracks of these rocks, they ultimately break down. The same thing happens with these smaller pieces that are formed eventually. You can see the third picture there, the effect of frost there on the rock. The fourth picture, the effect of roots of plants. I said already, roots of plant, most of the plants contain acid, and that acid causes rock to become weak and finally it breaks them down. You can see the effects of water there. So, finally here I have come to the last screen of today's episode. Since my time is over, composition of soil, I said already, soil contains various types of particles, rock particles, clay, slate, gravel and stone, organic matter, water, air and smaller microorganisms like fungi and bacteria. So, there is written something more on detail that I will be talking later in the next class. Today, just I would like to thank to you all and I just wish you all to have a very good academic life in this pandemic. Stay safe, stay home. Thank you everybody. Bye-bye.